Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's going to be kind of different. If you don't want to hear me talk and kind of explain how you guys can do what the title says, how to transform, say, an $800, $1,000 bike, skip this video, come back tomorrow, and I'll have a riding video. But before that, if you guys have not entered to win the CR125, every $5 spent gives you one entry to win this thing. The link's at the top of the description down below to my website. This immaculate CR125. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been. But yeah, this thing's fully kitted, super fresh, cleaner than what you would get it off the showroom floor. So all orders placed today, I'm gonna be throwing in some free new holographic color shift clap stickers. If you guys haven't seen these, they change colors with the direction that you look at it. It's hard for the camera to pick up on it. You can see a better example on my website with the pictures. Along with, I'm just gonna throw in some free key tags and a bunch of random orders. So if you wanna win some free stuff, place an order today. Along with, if you want to check out the new clap stickers, they're also on the site. Along with the stickers, shirts, and key tags, I just restocked the Dango GoPro mount. So if you've wanted a GoPro mount, now's the time to get it. You'll get like 10 plus entries. So if you've been wanting one of these, now's definitely the time. These things are sick. By far the best GoPro angle you could ever have. A little example of this thing. I know I've seen some confusion with the vinyl stickers. I'm gonna peel off the transfer tape like so. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. If it doesn't come with it, just press down and it'll pick up the actual sticker. Place it down where you want it, push down the transfer tape, and you're gonna come back and you're just gonna peel it off and it's gonna reveal the whole sticker. There's a better example of it. These things are sick. If you clicked on this video, you're probably curious to see how you yourself can buy a cheap beat-up bike and transform it into something like this, or something like my KX125 over there. If you didn't see the build series on that, that was last year's project. But basically, I'm gonna give you a rundown on everything, how I do it, how you can do it. Maybe not, you don't have to do everything that I've done. Major things that'll play into how much you can get for a bike. If you say you're selling on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, anything like that. Let's get into this and I'll kind of give you my tips or my opinion on some things that you might be able to do. Along the way, if I don't mention something, no, I don't know everything. If you guys have your own little tips and tricks, leave it in the comment section so I can read it and you can help some other people out if they read the comments. Before this video starts, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is GradeMiners.com. If you guys are still in school, university, college, whatever, you don't have the time or effort to do your paperwork, GradeMiners.com is the place to go. GradeMiners.com will help you with academic assignments such as essays, articles, term and research papers, coursework, case studies, and so much more. They have 24/7 support, and the best part is if you're not 100% satisfied, then they offer your money back guaranteed. So if you're one of 50 people to use my code Monagan, you can get 20% off your order. You can click the link in the description if you want to check it out. Alright, so the first step you're going to do is obviously, say you're looking for a new bike to ride yourself, you want to restore and make new again, or if you're trying to do the whole flipping bike process, you're gonna go on Craigslist, go on Facebook Marketplace. Don't pick the first deal you find. Wait around a couple weeks, look for a week or two, try and find the best deal because stuff randomly pops up, and the good deals on stuff usually go within like a day or two. So you gotta really be on top of scouring Craigslist, scouring Facebook Marketplace to find the perfect bike for you. So typically what you're gonna do, most of the guys that put their stuff on Craigslist and Facebook, if they don't clean it, they typically don't really either care about it or know anything about the bike. So that's kind of what happened with this. The kit, it was filthy, as you guys saw if you followed the build series videos. It was caked with mud, destroyed. I didn't really care because it was everything was getting torn down and replaced anyway. But you can kind of look at it from two different perspectives. If say you don't want to go through and replace everything, sure, you might want to find a cleaner bike that'll cost more money. If you're going to replace everything anyway because you want everything fresh, it doesn't matter if you find a $500 bike, $800 bike, $1,000 bike versus the $2,000 bike that might not need some of the parts that you're gonna put on it, if that made any sense. So yes, could I have found a bike that was say $2,000 versus the $1,000 or $900 what this bike costed when I bought it? Yeah, I could have. For my sake, I wanna show kind of what the bigger transformation is. So if you're buying a clean bike and then you're making it clean, it's kind of not as satisfying, I guess. So if you buy a beat bike, it's caked with mud, it's dirty as this was, and then it looks like this, it's such a bigger transformation and kind of before and after than it would be if you bought the better bike. I'm sure I'm gonna get some questions and flack about the title, $1,000 bike or $900 bike, transforming it into an $8,000 bike. So I'm literally breaking everything down on this bike. Granted, I was lucky enough to have sponsors and people who supported the build, but if somebody were to try and replicate this to the T, between the cost of the vapor honing, the spec bolt, the Electron, the wheel sets, the whole engine rebuild, everything like that, it would have been, not including like, that's excluding labor pretty much. So say you couldn't do it yourself and you had to pay somebody the labor to do everything that I did, that would be an arm and a leg, I'm sure. So $8,000 is probably lower than what the total bike would have actually costed if I had somebody else do it. So that's clearing up the title, I hope. Here are probably the two most important things when you're rebuilding a bike. One being this mag wheel cleaner, which I'll leave linked below. You can't buy this in any stores. You can't find it anywhere other than Amazon. So if you're restoring a bike, or you even just want to maintain your bike and have it clean, mag wheel cleaner is probably the perfect stuff for every aluminum part. You spray it on, let it sit on there for a minute, and then you scrub it off with some Scotch-Brite pads, which will also be linked below. So with these two things, you can pretty much clean up an entire bike. Maybe not every little nook and cranny, but for the most part, like as far as the frame and the inside, if you just have mag wheel cleaner and you had a Scotch-Brite pad, you can pretty much clean it up just like this, if not cleaner, if you really scrub it. And I have that shiny, maybe mirror look. I wasn't going for that, but obviously the more time you spend on stuff, the better it's gonna come out. Like I said, these two things are key if you're trying to maintain or build a bike. Another thing you see me use are these Scotch-Brite wheels that Cameron Nima offers on his website, which I'll leave his link down below. These things are like super handy if you're trying to clean up anything, really kind of direct, and you just move the part around and it shines it up perfect for the kind of parts you can't do on the bike. All the little miscellaneous parts. These things are important too. Along with Simple Green, a lot of Simple Green. This is what I use to clean all the bikes, especially if you spray it on the tires, it'll leave them with that nice new black color. Everything I'm talking about will be linked below if you want to check it out. Other thing I'm gonna see is people saying that they don't have access to a vapor honing cabinet. There's a ton of guys on Instagram. Josh, I'll leave link below, who you can send the parts to. He'll vapor hone it and then he'll ship it back. Pretty simple, but if you don't want to go through that whole process of vapor honing, if you don't know what vapor honing is, you can check out my channel, search vapor honing, you'll see countless videos about it. But if you don't want to do that and you don't want to spend the money for that, I would strongly recommend it because you're not gonna, honestly, vapor honing makes the parts look better than they are off the showroom floor, like OEM parts. Even parts that I buy OEM, like the cylinder, I would bring right to Josh and have him vapor hone it, because it looks that good. But if you don't have access to that, a little jumbo kit I've seen people use, you can use just a little simple thing, obviously not with the cutting wheel. You'd have a little, one of these wheels or something similar to this wheel, and you're gonna go little by little, kind of like what Cameron does, and do the entire cases, the frame if you want, every little aluminum part. If you don't buy those Scotch-Brite wheels, you would just go to the store and buy a bunch of these little guys that probably will take you forever. So this is another option too. Another good thing with the vapor honing, if you guys saw the pipe, it was completely rusted and pitted. It would have taken me hours, a day or two, to get all that rust off. So he literally just blasted it off, shined it up, and it was good as new, and then kind of heat treated it and everything. Another thing, if you have rust on your pipes, that mag wheel cleaner will like kind of disintegrate it and take it right off. It'll make your life a ton easier. Just right there, if you buy a $10 mag wheel cleaner and you buy, say, $5 worth of Scotch-Brite pads, and you buy a bike for $1,000 dirty, and say all you do is clean the bike, shine everything up, really detail it, take your time on it, clean the cases, clean the frame, strip everything down, clean it up, the bike will at least be worth $2 grand, 2,500 bucks. Granted, everything like works and the engine runs strong. Just like having a clean bike, I don't understand why people list bikes dirty. It doesn't make any sense to me, but people do. Or if you're buying it to ride it, you're gonna have a nice fresh bike. I'll show you a closer example of the vapor honing. This is basically as fresh as it's gonna be. Some of it's got little fingerprints I didn't clean up, but you honestly could not get any cleaner than that. It's all the brake stuff, everything pretty much, the pipe. So we'll compare this vapor honed over to my 250. So you can see for yourself, there's kind of OEM look, not shiny, pretty dull. I guess this isn't the best example because it's been ridden on, but you kind of get how the OEM look. Another thing is pretty obvious, just buy new plastics and graphics along with cleaning the bike. That'll dramatically increase the look and kind of the first little glimpse of something to get somebody to click on the ad, just to make the whole bike look newer overall. Like I've seen guys that don't even clean anything and just throw new, say, seat cover, plastics, graphics, and the bike looks pretty good, to be honest. With like 150, 200 bucks, you can get plastics and graphics and really just make the whole bike look better. But it really does also come down to what kind of bike you have, what year model it is, and kind of what somebody's willing to pay. The bike's only worth what somebody's willing to pay. So say you do have bikes that you have, say, $4,000 invested, it might not mean that the bike's worth $4,000. So for all the guys that list their bikes on Craigslist with, oh, brand new rebuild, and try and add on the price of the bike or add on the price of the parts on top of what the bike's worth, it doesn't really make sense. Like what the bike's worth is what the bike's worth in running order. So it doesn't matter how much money you put into it, the bike's only worth so much. So like I said, it really comes down to how much somebody's willing to pay. Like my KX125 back there, I had a bunch of offers on that. I'll probably never sell that thing. It was like one of my first builds, and that thing, it just can't replicate it. I can, but I can't. There's no reason for me to sell it. That would be the one bike, if I sold everything, that I would probably keep. Because I know if I sold it, I'd definitely regret it down the line for sure. The ALTA too, I can't sell that thing. That thing's too much fun. So if the ALTA and the 2-stroke. This is more so on the lines of 2-strokes. 4-strokes are obviously gonna be dramatically more expensive to rebuild. So a 2-stroke, I mean, you can throw a top end in there for what, 100, 150 bucks set. New chain and sprockets. What else would it really need? Brakes potentially, plastics, graphics. Invested, you could probably be total maybe 300, 400 bucks, and you can have a pretty dialed bike for the most part. So I don't really know what else I need to expand on besides kind of what I already talked about. The key stuff is obviously the mag wheel cleaner along with Simple Green and Scotch-Brite pads and the Scotch-Brite wheel. That is probably the most important thing with any bike build, like I was saying. Besides that, I mean, you can kind of get away with everything else. So I hope that kind of explains some stuff for the people that want to know, for the people that already know. Not everybody knows. That's kind of why I'm explaining it. I don't know everything. I'm not a pro. I'm not some mechanic expert, bike flipper person, whatever you want to call it. I'm just kind of giving my opinion, my thoughts and tips and tricks, whatever you want to say. So get a little conversation going in the comments, help each other out, and I'm sure there's a lot more guys out there that know more than me that can kind of explain stuff better. So with that, get your entries in to win this thing, link below. And I'm gonna cap this video off here, kind of a shorter video. I've just seen a bunch of comments in the first ride video and a lot of other videos regarding this, how somebody would do it, how they can do it, kind of my opinion on it. So I hope this video kind of clears that up. But with that, if you guys want to stay up to date before the videos come out, you can follow me on Instagram at Tyler Monagan. Subscribe if you're new, give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.